The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our first ever Star Wars Chronicle here on McStabber Studios. I am the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will, and before I break down where we are, I would like to give my players a chance to introduce themselves and the characters they're playing. So I'll open it up to you guys before we get started.
I'm Evie Eternal, and I'm going to be playing the character Synthresia Fire Dancer. And apparently, a lot of people have been talking, and my character is capable of some kind of magical witchery. So that's quite interesting.
Hello, I'm Zeus. I will be playing Nev. One fact people have heard is that he is not originally from Ossus. And another rumor is he might be force sensitive. Maybe. Who knows?
I'm Ginny Vanish. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. Callie.
I'm Callie Salvo. I am playing Avix Fire and he, him. And people have heard that I am from a planet very few people have ever been to and very few people ever leave. And one rumor that may or may not be true is that people think I had a pretty rough time and had to escape there.
I'm Ginny Vanish. She, her. I am playing Norma Bay Mar. Fun fact, she's not from her her species homeworld. And something people think that she really does, but she doesn't. I don't know yet. Maybe fly a ship on her own.
Okay, we'll find out more about them. But to set the scene, before there was Luke Skywalker, before the Clone Wars, before the senator from Naboo rose to prominence, there was the idea of the Galactic Republic. The journey to where the Republic was as the Clone Wars unfolded was not an easy or straightforward path. Before the legends of the Rebel Alliance forged their tales, there was a different struggle gripping the galaxy, one that would throw the whole of it into an era of darkness. 4,000 years before the infamous Battle of Yavin, the galaxy fell prey to one man's desire for more. Seduced by the power of the dark side, he and a deceased Sith named Freedon Nad, which the galaxy had ushered into nothingness, rose up and brought what historians would call the golden age of the Sith forward. We find ourselves just before these events truly unfold, on the precipice, on the tipping point of what is going to be a historical crash of ideals. Space is ever expanding. Explorers, colonists, and corruptions are vying for every new scrap of a planet they can forge for themselves. The core worlds are at peace, for the most part. Hyperspace beacons are making travel beyond the mid-rim safer. While law and order extends so far as a blade's edge or a blaster's nozzle, in the outer rim, one system is known for its religious practitioners. Ossus, home to the Jedi Academy, the planet sits as a beacon in the darkness. Jedi from all walks come and go, guided by the pull of the Force. Some teach, others learn. Knowledge exchanges hands like currency and trade. But for the vast reserves of history the Academy is rich with, there are some who find it insufficient. The shadows stretch far and wide in the outer rim, and seductive whispers rumble like a storm on the horizon. Pinpricks of activity have begun to flare up in the shadow vellum of space. More and more people are falling prey to the easy call to power. More and more people are calling upon the cold and nefarious practices that were perfected on Korriban. More and more people are allowing their intrusive thoughts more and more victories in their psychological war. But that is the way of the dark side. A city's mayor here, a planet's senator there, an entire system's monarchy out beyond the trade lanes, the cult of shadows knows no caste, not the satisfied, nor the needy. It knows only those that desire, that want, that hunger for more. But it is always calmest before the storm. In the Stennis system, the murder of one Andor Sunrider has brought to light how dangerous the cartel of Boga the Hutt has become. The Adigan crystals of a Jedi's lightsaber are being hoarded. More and more Jedi find themselves in harm's way, and though some lives have vanished like stars twinkling out of existence, others have found themselves burning brighter. And while Andor's wife, Nomi Sunrider, has taken their daughter Vima to the Jedi Master Thawne on the planet of Umbria, the mysterious Chuk-Thai Master Jedi was set to begin teaching her husband, as his former apprentice, Os Willem, moves on to become a full-fledged Jedi Knight. But the best-laid plans of man go oft awry, and the investigation of one Jedi's murder will set events in motion that will ripple out in the great galactic timeline for generations. This is a tale of empires and heirs, a tale of clandestine machinations, a tale of plagued whispers in the shadows. This is a tale of stars and wars and the heroes and villains whose stories have become legends. We open in the communal area of the Sunrise Crescent, a modest scout-class ship that once ferried Jedi across the stars. The ship of a once prominent Jedi Knight known as Soasta Dendrick. Its halls and quarters have soft echoes of the training and hard work and sacrifices that helped forge the Jedi Knights of today. Having dropped off some cargo on Ossus, Nora Baymar was asked by a member of the council to ferry a historian across the border of the Midrim to the core, to the Stennis system. Passengers taking advantage of your destination include a young human male and the family of the Jedi Council that are sending aid, a Dathomir witch, one far from her harsh homeworld. And around them all, including the lone crew member, aside from the droid, is swirling the blue tunnel of hyperspace. The hyperspace beacons have been plotted into the computer. As such, their trip should take no more than a week, so long as nothing is amiss. But it is the day after their departure from Ossus, and with the galaxy swirling past them, this is the first time any of them have ever had a chance to sit down and chat. What is on the topic of discussion today?
Well, I don't know about you, but I think my cooking is honestly probably pretty good. And if you want anything better, you can ask the droid. Maybe it could do better.
No, the droid can't do better. Trust me on this.
Exactly.
I'm not
So-
complaining about your food. Who's complaining?
Hey, we'll have to
If
take
it's-
turns on the cooking. That's all I'm going to say.
Why?
Oh, you think you can do so much better? Really? I don't think so.
I don't know that I'm going to say better, but I can definitely provide some variety.
Right, well.
How about this? How about this? You guys switch off so no one's completely stuck on cooking. Does that sound good?
I mean, I like cooking, but sure.
I know. Do you want to do breakfast and lunch, and then you guys switch off on dinners?
I think that sounds pretty reasonable. Only together
That's
for
fair.
what? Another week?
All right. I mean, I'm good.
Great.
That was easy.
If I could have each of you in turn describe your characters for each other.
Go.
Okay. You'll see Nev. He kind of has spikier blonde hair. It's long. He currently has it tied back in a ponytail. He has kind of what might be associated with Ossus as like kind of safe climate fashion, like kind of like a duster jacket, some like cargo pants with various tools in them. You see he's currently like setting up a little bit of a workstation so that he can, get some things in order, work on some projects, that kind of thing, without using Miss Nora Bay's tools. He has blue eyes, just generally kind of been a lot really quiet.
So Avix is Faline. So he has green, kind of grayish green, lizardy skin. His hair is pulled back. He looks kind of confused at times. He looks like someone who just isn't very confident in the world around him, and doesn't know a lot, but he's picking things up quickly. He's tall, thin, but not too skinny. And his clothing looks like something cheap that he could have bought in a starport just from a vendor who was just selling wares to people passing by.
Synthresia is not very tall, maybe 5'4", 5'5". She's rather thin. She's got on a large red sort of robe-looking jacket with a hood in the back. She's got strapped gloves and is strapped with a bow on her back, which she would have taken off and put to the side. However, she does keep a vibro knife on her hip at pretty much all times. She has brilliant blue eyes that are completely pupilless, so they only have the cornea there. And she seems to be very, not sullen, but a little bit defensive sometimes, and very quick to anger.
Norma's 5'6", Miralukin, so what eyes? Short black hair. There are strands of different color hair all around her head. She normally sometimes wears a hat. Red top, blue vest. Always having kind of like this green scarf hanging around at some point. Black pants, might be a stripe somewhere, I don't know, but she always has a blaster on her hip. She's about 30. Sarcasm. is her love language. Snark is her aftercare. We always go with daiquiris as a safe word.
Okay. The Jedi historian that you're bringing with you is an older human. He has a very pronounced gray mop of hair on his head that he ties back with a leather kind of strap just at the base of the neck. It comes down, the hair comes down to about just below the shoulder blade. There is the scraggle of a beard that looks like he hasn't shaved in almost a week, but it too is also infested with just this gray army that has taken over what was at one point probably a chestnut kind of brown. This is Doman Crow. He is a Jedi historian on Ossus. He was also one of the first students that one Soasta Dendrick taught before leaving the order and having a child of her own. So he has been in awe of the fact that the ship is still running and can even remember where some of his training took place in the cargo hold. But otherwise, he has kind of kept to himself. He has a data pad that he's usually reading and sometimes writing in. You'll always hear the kind of click snap of him pulling his little pen, drawing into it or writing into it, and then that kind of same click as he snaps it back onto the side of it. He is just kind of sitting off to the side, cup of what is tea, and just staring up at the view of the blue and white swirl of hyperspace traveling past you. Has shared a few words here and there, has introduced himself to everyone. He is cordial, kind, and very much what the image of what you hear, of what you see when you hear Jedi Knight. Even though he does have a lightsaber on his belt, any questions about his combat experience will get a quick laugh and a change of subject. The only other person that is on the ship that isn't present is Prague, Nora's droid, P2A99. Prague is currently in the cockpit, making sure that nothing interrupts the trip. It is the day after you've left Ossus. Some of you are heading to Stennis for different reasons. Avix is just happy to have a job on a ship that's continually moving. Nev has a purpose, and so does Synthracia. Has Nora been to Stennis before, do you think?
Yes. This is a normal route.
Okay.
Picking stuff up, moving, always making sure you got a job, keep flying.
What do you think is her relationship with Boga the Hutt and his cartel? Since they are prominent in Stennis.
They are. Her relationship with any Hutt is, I'm here for business. Let's move business. Let's move some credits. She keeps the political out because that doesn't do well for business. So making sure business is taken care of, people are good. No unpleasant complications.
Was Ossus the first time that Nora has heard about the murder of Andor Sunrider?
Yes.
How did
She's
she
heard
take
of the
that?
name.
Yeah.
She's heard the name, and well, like any Jedi, she's heard falling. Will of the Force. Force called him home. Kind of like somebody else she knew.
Correct. The week travels by. uneventfully. All of you have a chance to talk to each other, to trade cooking secrets, to challenge each other for the bragging rights associated with that. The ship did refuel and reassess its hold. You have, at most, a month's worth of rations to pull from. How old do you think is the Sunrise Crescent?
Older than she is, so we're looking at about 45-ish years. Kind of. She had it, her mom had it before she was born.
Yeah. How cantankerous is she or he? It.
Cantankerous?
Mm-hmm.
You're
Do you
pushing
think
the $50, your $50 word. I'm not really going to look Google up right now.
Okay, all right. Do you think the ship is feisty?
Oh,
Does
God,
it
yeah.
does it kick?
Oh, yeah. It's got a soul of its own. If it doesn't like it, she'll let you know.
Okay.
Just like her mom did. She swears up and down her mom's soul's in this.
Okay.
I'm so sorry for everyone now.
No, please. This is why we're here. So, a few days into the hyperspace tunnel, you've passed the second buoy, and the ship has a little bit of an issue. It doesn't want to drop back into hyperspace. So, do you want to trust your maintenance to yourself or to one of your crew or one of the new passengers that you've brought on?
Oh, yeah. She'll open it up to go, who can do this? Who's got the skills?
I can take a look if you'd like.
Go for it. I
Okay.
really can't tell you what it's going to do.
I assume we kind of like pull into the equivalent or the astroport nearby.
There is no astroport. You are in
space,
open
baby.
space.
Then he will use whatever tools are necessary to go check the engine, like the warp drive, that kind of stuff. Just make sure it's all there.
Okay. If you want to give me a space transport repair roll,
All right.
do the first roll of the night.
That is an explosion on my chaos die.
Okay.
So 10.
So your space transport repair is 5 dice. So that's 4 regular dice and 1 wild die.
22, 27.
Okay. It is just age showing wear and tear on the ship. It looks like this is one of the not neglected, but definitely on the bottom of the list and never really rising higher than 4th or 5th, maybe on the things to do on the ship itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not too hard to get her back up and running, get it back up and running. And after a few moments of tinkering with it, turning it off and on again, that kind of thing, the engines kind of roar to life all over again, and you feel that pull and sudden push in your stomach as you drop into hyperspace. And sure enough, if you come out to the communal area, you'll see the swirling blue and white tunnel. And success.
Is everything okay?
Well, she is now. I can tell it never really quite hit the top of your marks to fix her up, but well, it's in top shape now.
Good. I do not concern myself with these things, so I'm glad that we had people on board who know what they're doing.
I like to busy myself with all kinds of technological items.
You want to go do a tune-up, you're more than welcome to.
If you'd like me to, I'm happy to do it.
If she kicks back, just yell at her like it's your ma. Trust me on this.
I wouldn't yell at my mother.
Did you never talk back to your ma?
No, we talk back, but we don't yell.
Okay, well, then sass back to your ma, sass back to her like you'd sass back to your ma. Little sass going both ways is open communication. You know how that goes.
How does that fix it? I don't understand.
Ships sometimes got a personality of their own. Generally, the people who inhabit them leave a little bit of themselves behind.
Oh, okay.
My ship.
Like an animal, almost.
Kinda. Think about like a big transport ship, right?
Right.
Doesn't got much personality because lots of people exist in it. All those little pieces, you kind of get a blank slate. But if you got something small like this, you got fewer people that tend to develop their own kind of spirit.
Oh, interesting. I suppose I can go with that analogy then.
Here, put your hand up here, and she'll put like to the hull.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like that ripping, and it kind of looks like a scorch mark.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my mom used to train people up in here, and so her personality, her essence, kind of imbibed itself into this place. So you're kind of riding with my ma.
All right. I
So-
can do something with that.
Treat her like your ma,
Sort of like a spirit.
pretty much.
And
That's
you'll see he heads over to the little workbench he's set up in the ship to grab like major like spaceship repair tools and that kind of stuff.
If she bucks, you buck back like a teenager. And then you just kind of do this like little, give and take thing. We barter shit out and then she flies. I don't complain.
Let me know if you need any help. I'm not very good with the physical stuff, but I'm pretty good at computers.
I mean, if you two could kind of tune her up, she hasn't had a bit of a perk in a while. Tune her up. Please.
Give me a second. And you'll see he kind of starts walking along the wall and he'll just gently tap on it like he's listening to like kind of like you see in movies where like they'll tap on the car and go, oh, it's the engine block, third cylinder type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the storyteller, I'm sure you can understand what he's doing.
Yeah, you're checking for what needs the most help.
Mm-hmm.
And Nora's right. This is not a ship that has seen the craftsmanship of any technician, any worthwhile technician, in maybe a decade or more. Things sound operational, but there's definitely room for improvement. But the tool set that you have on board the ship is subpar at best for any of the work that it really needs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely one of the things that you can kind of start making a list of what you would want to look at if you had the tools and the space to actually, put her up on some blocks and really get under the hood, as it were.
He'll get that list going for Nora. Just kind of tend to what he can now. Like if something needs tightening, bolts, screws.
Sure.
Stuff needs welded together.
The droid, Prague, will call Nora into the cockpit about 6-7 days into the trip. Captain, there is a situation. I am right here.
I said, what you got?
Oh, I thought you were asking where I was, and I was going to tell you that I am right here.
You're always right there, my dude. That's why I trust you so much on this.
I am not a dude, Captain.
Okay. Do you want me to prefer and say my droid, or would you like to say my Prague?
Neither sounds enjoyable to me.
What sounds enjoyable to you?
He looks at you for a moment. This is a standard protocol droid, so it looks human. It's got the very cold shape of what would be a precursor to a C-3PO unit. So it's very much blocky, almost like the first generation Transformer toys. Like there is very much just a circular. The ball joints kind of swivel in a 360, but there's no real support. If he could turn into a block, he would. But he kind of looks up at you. He's got this little triangular eyes, and they shut off and turn back on like he's blinking at you. He goes, going back to the issue at hand, Captain. It seems
his shoulder gently.
It seems that the final beacon is offline. I will have to drop out of hyperspace outside of the system.
What do you mean offline? That's not right.
Correct. That is what I have stated to you.
Okay. Give me a I can't believing I'm doing this. Give me an odds of probability of how good and bad this is.
Probability is not my strong suit, Captain. But
It's okay. We'll have to make it.
Given the section of space that we are traveling to, this should not be an issue.
Yeah. Well, the beacon should have been on too, right?
Correct.
I don't like this. Any way to circle around it, or we just got to go drop it and go right in?
The closest I can get to the beacon is the edge of the system, Captain.
Other than that, we're going to have to eyeball it.
Correct. Shall I prep the turret?
Shit. Can you co-pilot with somebody who's got eyes?
Of course.
Do you mind?
I am used to flying, Captain. That is why you have brought me on board.
Right. No feelings. I'm trying to be considerate.
I can quote our contract to you if you would like.
Oh my God. Really? I swear. One day I'm going to put a personality in you.
I have a personality, Captain. Do you not enjoy it?
Just open yourself up, okay?
And you
Not
see
literally.
the chest
Not
cavity
literally.
opens up.
Not literally.
I have given you access, Captain.
No. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look, no. Just close up right now. Let me go see if I got a pilot and see what we can do. Just give me like 30 seconds, okay?
We should be arriving within the hour. You have plenty of time.
Cool. Then I'm not going to run screaming in back.
I wouldn't, Captain. It sounds obtrusive.
Give me a minute.
And you see the chest cavity starts to close up.
So walking back. So any one of you guys know how to fly?
This coming from the ship's captain.
Wait.
And if you're saying this, if you're not giving me a verbal answer, I'm not seeing it.
Can you not fly? You're the captain.
Sure, I can fly. Only very briefly. This is the reason why I'm asking. Hold on. Breathe.
Hi, I can.
Good. Here's the problem. I can't fly going from hyperspace into a system. I only have limited eye vision. That doesn't work in the middle of a system.
Fair enough.
Ground. Now here's the problem. The beacon's down. So we got to drop out of hyperspace to get into the system. That's bad. And it normally doesn't happen. I don't know who turned the beacon off.
Captain, are we concerned about an ambush?
We're concerned because the beacon's off. That normally doesn't happen between going back and forth. I can count exactly one time on my hand, and this is the one time.
Should I man the gun, Captain?
Yes. Let's be prepared for an offense, defense thing. I don't like the feeling of this.
So just a quick reference for me. Would this be something where astrogation would apply? Or is this...
Not at all. This is
Okay.
space transports.
Okay. I have that one too. I just didn't know what exactly astrogation was for offhand, so my brain was like,
Sure.
is this an astrogation thing? Or...
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah.
Doman Crow does kind of stand up as you ask for a captain, for a pilot, and he goes, I remember my time on the ship, so I might be able to fly her, not as good as Master Dendrick, but I'm pretty sure that amongst our many lessons, flight was one of them.
Yeah, she never got that one to me yet. Oh, you got it. Okay, who said
Nev.
what? Okay, good. Names are good. I like names. Thank you. Crow, can you go with Nev and do the thing?
Sure.
Send Prague back, because I'm sure we're gonna have to do something with the computer.
I mean, yeah, I can do that.
GG, thank you.
And he goes towards the cockpit.
He'll follow.
I'm going to go and climb in the turret for the Twin Star turret too.
Okay. It turns on the moment you climb up. The little viewport shows you the readings. There's just the emptiness of the blue and white swirl in front of you and behind you, all around you. It is wild. Avix doesn't have any force sensitivity.
Yes, he does.
Does he? Okay.
Just barely.
You're right. He just doesn't have any training.
Yeah. Untrained.
Untrained. There's a moment where as you're sitting down, getting familiar with the controls, the cockpit is not a place that you have been often. But there's a moment where out here in the emptiness of space, with stars shooting past you, past the speed of light, there's a moment where you see something in the tunnel. Massive. It easily dwarfs the ship. It's a shadow of something. And at first you think it's just another ship. And then your eyes blink and you start to see past the fog of the blue-white, past the shadow of actual space that you exist in during hyperdrive jump. And Nora and Synthracia will feel a sudden pulse. You'll see it coming from where the turret is. There's just this sudden kind of ripple that washes over everything around you. Nev will feel a very slight tug at his stomach while he's walking towards the cockpit. But for all of us that don't understand Mirror-Lucan physiology, how does Nora see someone using the Force? How does Synthracia see someone using the Force?
Well, Nora, how is it for you?
Always good, let me tell you.
Mm.
It's more ripples and reflections helping her actually see what's going on. So think, yes, I'm saying it. Think Daredevil. And when the rain hits and the noise ripples, it paints a picture of what's going on, or what's going on around her. How's it going for you?
For Synthracia, she's only half Mirror-Lucan, so it's a little bit different. She can almost taste what I would describe as the color, the heat, the immensity of the energy, and in her cone of vision, where there might not be color, normally the force use is almost like a blinding white, along with like very bright or hot things. So she almost sees in like a dark vision mixed with enhanced senses, with a similar to daredevilish effect as well, with those other senses being enhanced.
This is definitely a spell that you've never used, but it is one that you have seen used. To either one of you, is the force colored for you? Does one side of the force, does intention color the spectrum that you see in?
It's the only color that she can see, besides the sort of like overarching dull blue that she normally sees with.
32 shades of gray, depending on intention.
Okay. But Avix's eyes focus on the shadow in the tunnel, and then another one is visible, and a third one becomes visible, and a fourth one becomes visible, and then almost as if just to you, there is a chorus of whale cries.
Avix feels like a kind of peaceful joy. He's not had a lot of serenity in his life, and part of why he's been kind of tooling around space is he enjoys space, and this for him is like an amplified version of that. So it's not like euphoria or anything like that. It's calmer, but it is like a joyful sense in a way.
Is this the first time that Avix has seen a Purgil?
Yes.
Okay. There's for almost an imperceptible amount of time. It could be 2 minutes, it could have been 30, but there is just this following of the ship. There is this song that plays for you, and then slowly, one by one, the first shape vanishes, second, the third, and the first one you saw, the largest of them, there's a moment where it almost feels like it's looking straight at you. And in that moment, it vanishes from the hyperspace tunnel. And a few moments later, the ship drops out of hyperspace.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't like it. That felt weird.
Strange.
You felt it too?
Of course.
I don't try to ask or impose upon things,
Oh, well, I'll tell you more later.
Valid.
The color of that force ability, what did it more resemble? Something more towards the lighter, more fluffy side, or the darker, more sharp side?
How would Avix feel? He would use a power that amplifies his senses, like something to make his eyes sharper, his ears better. What is the color of utilitarian ability to him?
That would be very gray. It wouldn't be bright or anything like that. It would just be kind of a mild gray. He's still just feeling very peace and calm, but not strongly in any way.
So both of you will feel that.
Okay, it's neutral. That's good.
You're able to tell too. Good.
What?
You're able to tell too.
Oh, how do I say this? Mom was a Jedi. He trained me a bit. I'm not that good at all. But she taught me the spectrum of feeling stuff.
Understandable. I had something approximating that in my own village.
Oh, I wasn't born in a village. I lived on Corellia.
Oh.
Green. For Corellia system.
I haven't been there.
Oh, you haven't? Got to be there sometime. Really nice place. Little loud at times, but you get used to it.
I'm sure. One thing I still need to adjust to is loud.
That's all I know is loud. You know how to funnel it out and make it into the background noise.
This ability, what used that? Who? That's what's that? Do we know?
Well, it came from storyteller. Do we know where it came from?
Yeah, because you see in the Force as Mirror Lucans, and so you don't have the vagueness that Nev has. Nev just knows that somewhere the Force was used. Somewhere in the hyperspace tunnel, the Force was used. Nora and Synthracia can actually see when the Force is in use. You can see origin points kind of ripple out like a ping on a radar. The closer they are to you, the more vibrant they are. So depending on how far you guys were from the turret, you would have seen that Avix was the source of it all.
Well, that's our little friend Alex.
Avix, I think was his
name. Yeah. I put different consonants and letters and words and names. Wait until I give you all nicknames. It's going to change your life.
Perhaps. I was unaware that I knew how to use magic.
I don't think it's magic. I think he's a force. He can, the force potentials. Force sensitives?
I don't subscribe to that religion, but I understand.
No. I'm not talking about the whole Jedi religion. I'm just saying that people have that ability. Kind of like how we were born with the ability to just know shit.
Yes, but it's, a debate for another time.
No, that's fine. But I'm telling you that he's got force capabilities. He can use it.
Right. He knows how to use some form of magic.
Oh, wait. Are you calling the force magic?
I think that's what the Jedi and many commoners refer to it as. But yes.
Okay.
Sort of the same concept.
As long as I know what you're calling it, I can then turn around and decipher.
Right.
Gucci?
Come again?
I'm saying, are you good? You're understanding that we're kind of cementing a word or cementing an idea.
Oh, yes. I am understanding this.
Sorry, I'm really bad with trying to figure out how your words are, and I'm sorry, and I apologize.
It is quite all right.
I'm usually coming in hot and heavy with a whole lot of other shit that I got to go through, and so I just kind of sort things out real fast, drop shit, and go.
You hear the thumping of the metallic feet coming towards you, and you see Prague just kind of come into the conversation. He goes, "It is true. She is always leaving things around."
Hey, I can't help it. I don't see where you put everything where I have to put it.
I tell you where I put things, Captain.
Yes. And then when I come to the cognizant understanding of where the hell you dropped the shit, that's when my face hits the floor because I've tripped over it.
This is genetically impossible for your species, Captain.
You've seen me eat dirt before. Don't lie.
I've never seen you put earth in your mouth. This is not a meal that you have chosen for yourself.
You have seen me hit the deck because I've tripped over stuff before.
This is true.
I think he takes things a great deal more literally than you.
Oh, yeah. Complete does not understand any of my colloquialisms.
Well,
Yeah, and you see him go step over to his charging pad, and he just plugged himself in.
I suppose I'll go bother Avix about his particular ability. I was unaware.
Just if shit falls, let me know. I'll try and catch it.
Yes. Do we need to be ready for any boarding action or anything? Is there pirates? There was some trouble.
That I don't know, and I'm not sure what he saw. And you'll see her go and get a bow staff, but I'm not gonna not be ready for shit.
Right. Synthresia will go to one of the aft cargo chambers and grab her plasteel rapier and just put that on her hip.
Okay.
Just keep it safe. We're gonna have to defend the non-combatants of this ship.
Right.
Can't believe they're non-combatant. Everyone has their own path, whatever.
Yeah. But as you drop out of hyperspace, the swirling and unfolding blackness of space stretches out beyond. Excuse me. The white pinpricks of stars, near and far, fill the gaps of the darkness around you. And ahead of you, you can see the Stennis system laid out before you. There's massive amounts of planets here, 7 of which are inhabited. Since you've been here before, Nora will know that the prime planet in the system is called Kamsul, but the main kind of hub of everything is inside the Stennis node, which is where the kind of space station exists. And you also know that one of the gas giants has a moon called Vodasha, which is where Boga the Hutt holds court whenever he sees people. Otherwise, he has been seen here and there on the lower levels of the space station. But otherwise, the only other main planet that people know about is Umbria, because that's where Jedi Master Thon lives and kind of watches the unfolding of the system from there. He is a self-proclaimed guardian of the system itself, but if you've ever seen the kind of race that he is much more of this monstrous 4-legged creature than a humanoid. But as vast as space is, so are the races held in tow. If Avix and Nev could give me perception rolls, as you're the main people with working eyes that can see.
Absolutely.
Good luck with that.
12?
12?
Oh,
For
12, 13. Sorry.
13.
18.
18. You can see what the droid had been talking about. There is the hyperspace beacon sitting out at the edge of the system that looks like somebody took an asteroid shower and just let it loose in the center of it. It looks banged up to hell. There are holes in it, sparks here and there of miswired damage that has been caused to it, and it is slightly off from where it should be.
If Avix has a computer terminal up in the turret, he can maybe try and access the communication system and see if he can ping to it or whatever.
Sure. Do you have the communication skill?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's have you roll that.
Not very strong, but
2 die plus 1 is not terrible.
9.
9. It is shoddy. the communications array is one of the damaged systems on it. So it's touch and go. It's very much a every time that you start to ask something, like it turns off and then the communication restarts itself. And it always goes back up to the "how can I help you" prompt. So there's a lot of guesswork as far as like getting back to where you can be of service to it, or it can be helpful to you in any way, shape, or form. And as you're doing that, you both will notice that out of one of the moons in the furthest planet from the star, there are 3 shadows that suddenly come across and start making their way towards you and start to become bigger.
Avex is going to just drop trying to communicate and swivel the turret in that direction just to keep an eye on things.
Okay. Dome and Crow does point them out to you. We might have to do something about that. I don't like the look of that.
I don't either, but you don't get far in space by just shooting the first thing that comes flying towards you. And he'll try and do communications. He doesn't have the skill specifically. I don't know if you need the skill to do it.
You don't. It all defaults to the parent attribute, so that would be your mechanical roll.
Cool. That's 10.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. My chaos die loved, so that's only a 3. Or
Okay.
my chaos die is a 1. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are the words I'm trying to say.
There you go. Yeah, the wild die rolled a 1.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll remove it and the highest die you roll, leaving you with a 3.
Yep.
Yeah, you think that you hail them. You open up a line of communications, and as you're sitting there, talking away, trying to get what's it called? A communication, a rapport built with them. You see Doman will come over and just kind of flick a few buttons, and then you'll hear the actual static of a comm kind of sending out.
Never was very good with comm systems. Never my specialty.
Only reason I know is because, like I said, I grew up on the ship, kind of. So,
and I had an interest in them from a young age. So.
Yeah, but you hear a voice come up. Yes, how can I be of service?
You're flying towards us at a rapid rate. We wanted to check in, make sure we're here on amicable terms. We're just dropping off some cargo, I believe.
Yes, you have Jedi on board. You have Adagan crystals?
No. He looks directly at the Jedi very pointedly to not talk.
But you hear the sound of what is like a hand being put on a microphone and some muffled exchange of language, and then the sliding of the hand. Okay, we have wrong ship. Then we sorry.
Question: could I try 2 languages to see what they said?
You could roll languages to see if you could pick up on the gist of what they're saying.
That if I'm walking into the...
Okay, never mind. I get nothing because I got a 1 on my cast die.
Ooh. What were you saying, June?
Is it possible I could do that if I was walking into the bridge hearing this?
Sure.
So it's just 4, 6?
So your languages skill is 4 die plus 1. It's going to be 3 regular dice and the 1 wild die to make up your 4 die pool, and then you're going to add 1 to your total.
Okay.
Let's see what your ugly dice roll.
I got an 11.
Okay. The gist of it is somebody saying what you imagine is my information is solid, and then someone yelling and belittling whoever had opened the communication. So it's very clearly somebody looking to hijack cargo.
She'll wait until she hears the communication thing go off.
Okay. I mean, you could turn it off yourself.
Yeah, she'll just walk on and go, turn it off and go. They're looking to hijack.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
most
see
people
them.
don't buy something like that easy. So I figured I'd try, but you know.
Yeah. You see them turning
Not-
back towards the moon.
Can Avex hear what's going on?
I don't think the channels were open to the whole ship.
Okay.
So it's just the cockpit crew.
What I am gonna attempt to do is the ship has its own stats. I can't use mine.
What are you trying to do?
I was gonna try to be a little sneaky.
Oh.
And use interpose the sun between us and our destination so that it glares where they wouldn't be able to see us, for example.
Yeah, the closest sun is light years away, so it will be difficult because you're on the edge of the system going towards the star. So they have the star's advantage compared to you.
Then he'd probably try to use like a planet shadow then or something like that off of the sun.
That's easier.
If he could.
Yeah.
Would you like
no. You have you've rolled enough for piloting that you have a kind of easy time with simple maneuvers like this. I'm not going to have you roll. If you were in combat, then you would have to actually start doing some heavy rolling. But you start to deviate from the central star of the system towards one of the other planets not far from this last planetoid that's barely in the grasp of this huge, almost white of a yellow sun at the heart of the system. But you start making your way into the actual system itself around between the fourth and fifth planet, which at this speed is like an hour away. You can see the huge asteroid belt that makes up the ring called the Stennis node, which is where all of the main mining in the system takes place. And very clearly in this open cluster of like a clearing, you can see the space station. Just massive ships kind of hovering around it. There is one large kind of capital scale ship that is just sitting there in the docks that Nora, once it is described to her, will recognize it as Boga's ship. It's a small capital scale little frigate, but it's how he keeps power in the system. The only one that has been able to make runs at Boga and his court has been Finhead Stonebone. And everybody laughs at the name because it is the most unlucky but somehow fortunate pirate marauder the system has ever seen. If Star Wars had a Jack Sparrow, Finhead would be that. But just so you're aware, Finhead Stonebone is canonical as far as the legends are concerned. That is not a name that I made up. But are you heading towards the station? Do you want to go to one of the planets? What is the goal?
He is headed to the loot or the cargo drop-off point that Nora had basically told him, hey, this is where we need to be.
Yep. That would be the system itself. The station itself, sorry.
Eventually, Nora would go get Vax and tell him he can come down from the turret.
All right, so Avix gets to go ahead to drop offensive actions.
All right.
You fly casually, try not to look casual. As you arrive at the space station, the people in charge give you a port number to dock at. It'll cost 20 credits a day to dock there. It is one of the most used stations out here as far as the border of the mid rim and outer rim is concerned. And as you dock, the Jedi just kind of nods. I appreciate the lift, Miss Bay. If there's anything, Miss Mar, if there's anything I can help you with while I'm here, please don't hesitate to ask. I know that we don't offer much in compensation. It is not a lucrative career being a Jedi by any stretch, but we get by.
Yeah, you need a ride, you let me know.
It will do.
Okay.
He will grab his stuff, and once you've docked, he will be one of the first people out. And as he's about to go down the ramp, you see what looks to be some security guards come over to your ship. And one of them's like, which one of you is Mr. Crow? Master Crow? Knight Crow? I don't know how to refer to Jedis. And he kind of holds his hand up and he goes, that would be me. And just Jedi is fine. I'm not particular about my titles. And the guard's like, of course, sure, yes. Bad news, Jedi Crow. It seems that the Jedi you were here to aid has gone missing. We don't know what to do. We've already lost one Jedi here. We don't need more Jedi being murdered on the station. It would be bad for business, as it were. How can you help? And the main security guard that's kind of talking has a very pained look on his face. It looks like he has been awake for the better part of 3 days and is trying not to scream at every moment he has a chance to. And Crow kind of looks back at all of you gathered and he's like, I think I'm going to have to continue using your services, Ms. Mar. Seems that we need to find a Jedi, if that's all right with you.
You're hunting down a stolen or missing Jedi. That sounds interesting enough.
And the security guard goes, yeah, yes. We had a small group of investigators that were trying to find out what happened to Andor Sunrider. The Jedi in charge is a knight named Kiltani Scour, who has disappeared. Her team has vanished without a trace on the station, and we have reason to believe that there was foul play involved, considering that Andor was carrying Adigan crystals to Master Thawne. Things are bad here.
Think that we got almost jumped.
We got jumped by what?
Okay. Whole team of people coming out from what I could hear from the crackle. Nave, they came out from the moon, right?
Is that correct? My brain's
Yeah, from
Yeah.
behind one of the moons, one of the far moons.
from one of the moons.
Yeah, they're trying to hunt for some crystals. You got people trying to hunt down your Dax, my dude. And your beacon's turned off.
Little more than turned off.
What happened?
Looked like someone picked up a meteor swarm and just rammed it into it.
Its communication system is damaged. I couldn't get anything from it. It just kept restarting every time I tried to talk to it.
This is terrible.
You got more problems than this, my friend.
Couldn't it just be a meteor shower?
Not where that was at.
He points at one of the other guards and he's like, get someone over there immediately. And yes.
Neville quickly scribble on some paper, like some repairs he obviously saw it needed, and would offer it to the guy.
And he taps his data pad to yours to transfer the notes to his. Much appreciated. Yes. Seeing as how you're the only Jedi that we have access to, since Master Thon is currently on Umbria, I feel like I need to ask for help, Mr. Jedi, Master Jedi, Jedi Crow. I don't know what to do. And Boga is on the ship. We also have the heirs to the Keto family on the ship. It is. I am at my wit's end, and you will see Doman kind of put his hand on the man's shoulder, and again, Nev and Avix will feel in their stomach something kind of pulling at them very softly. Nora and Synthracia will see that Doman is pulling on the force. He is calming the man. He is helping him to feel refreshed and kind of removing the wear that he has been living with. And
Avix is seeing this and feeling this, and he kind of wants to try and help. So he has a pheromone ability that's supposed to help his persuasion rolls.
Yeah.
But he's going to try and use that in a way to just amplify what Doman is doing, and maybe even just whisper some or mumble some encouraging, calming words.
Okay.
In that way.
Unimportant, but I think important moving forward. Do you think Avix has a stronger effect on a type, a spectrum of genders more than others?
It's probably stronger with women. He's straight. So, okay. and it is kind of tied into that, but I think from what I read, it does work across.
Yeah.
Just maybe not as strong.
Sure. I mean, you're always going to have pheromones. Pheromones are going to affect your persuasion regardless. Mm-hmm. I just want to know if there was a lean towards Avix as far as what he would prefer it work better on.
Yeah.
And so I think Synthracia and Nora will sense it stronger, but there's definitely a shift towards how Avix's appearance comes off to you. Maybe he looks a little like he's standing a little straighter, like there's a little bit more of this kind of domineering, but not monstrous appearance to him. Very much in control suddenly of the situation, but you do feel it help shift this guard's kind of pose. Like he does kind of slump his shoulders now. There's a lot less rigidity to him. He's starting to breathe much more calmly, and immediately once you feel Doman stop calling on the Force. Everything kind of starts to relax again. And now you can start feeling the guard's relaxation. And he says, I appreciate the words of encouragement, Jedi. I still have to find out why one Jedi was murdered and now one Jedi seems to have vanished. So I implore you, please, can you help? And Doman turns to the group at large and he says, I would like some assistance on the matter. If I could employ all of you, I can't promise any compensation, but favors from the Jedi are not easy to acquire. So there's that.
Sure. Why not? How about the rest of you?
Let me
I
sell my
go-
shit because I gotta get, and then I can deal with shit. Though I would say that the people that were looking for those crystals, that is a big hint, my friend.
I go where my captain goes.
I'll be around for a while at least.
Very well. I appreciate you and everything that we are about to embark on. And he looks at the guard. He's like, all right, if you could lead the way, I'd love to see where this Jedi was staying or where Andor Sunrider was murdered. And he goes, yeah, of course, right this way. And I think this is a good point to go to break for today. Now that we've got a nice little introduction to everybody and we've got our first adventure hook in the water. See you guys in a couple minutes. Ooh, welcome back. In the first half, we got to meet our players and their characters, and they traveled through hyperspace and they flew their ship not into the sun. So far, it's been a success. But we're going to pick up right where we left off before going to break, with you being in the Stennis station called the Node, in the middle of the mining facility in this asteroid belt that is just the heart of corporative kind of existence. Every asteroid kind of has a little hotel where employees are holed up, and they just mine the asteroids for whatever ores and minerals they can. One of the gas giants in the system is actually also has its own kind of cloud city, as it is a source of the Tibana gas that is used for blasters. But we find you all going down to one of the levels, as this guard has led you to where Andor Sunrider was murdered. You can see that there's a good kind of 30-meter circle around where the event took place. There is the outline of where Andor's body dropped. There's still some darkening to the Durasteel floor that shows where the blood kind of seeped out from him. But there's also 3 other shapes that have been drawn around him. Some of them look to be more distressed than others. One looks like it's missing an arm. It from the body itself, like the arm is drawn just a couple of feet away from it. One looks like it was cut in half at the waist, and the other looks like it had its leg clean cut off from the groin up to just above the hip. And it also is a few feet away. But none of the bodies are there. The guard kind of looks at the area. Is like, so this is where the Jedi Sunrider was found. The 3 assailants were killed by his wife. This is where they were found. We have records on each of them. They were members of a criminal organization that has started to take root here in the station, unfortunately, and it has become a gruesome thing to see. It didn't used to be this way. I can assure you, this was not a terrible place to live once upon a time, but ever since this group that calls themselves a Shattered Hand has infested the station, things have gotten worse. They've escalated. The hut did things with some semblance of decorum, at least, but these ruffians are doing things by different rules, it seems.
Avix is going to kind of just quietly, while he thinks everyone else is paying attention to the guard, kind of just look around the room, check to see if anything looks weird to him or if he can see any more details or anything like that.
Okay. Give me an investigation roll for yourself.
Right.
This is 4 die plus 1.
Okay, that is not great, but let's see here. 9.
Okay. And that is with a plus 1?
That's with the plus 1, yes.
That is not a good roll. You were right.
3 2s and a 3.
Ooh. So it looks like the scene appears to be that Andor was taken by surprise. The blood spill looks to be coming out of what is the rear of the body. The way that the 3 assailants are splayed out, though, excuse me, shows that they were not in any way, shape, or form prepared for what happened to them. They are all look to be front-facing, so it looks like they might have been converging on his wife when they were taken out. None of them looked like they were running away, and there's a lot less blood surrounding their outlines. Lightsabers, even though we're not using kyber crystals yet, the Atigan crystal is enough to fuel plasma to the degree that it does cauterize a wound as it cuts. Any blood that's there is aftermarket, while they were dying. But it looks like the police here, the security of the station, have done a thorough job. The outlines are meticulous. The circle is generous. Most crime scenes would have quarantined a little 10-meter diameter. But this is a good distance. It looks like they've flagged some pieces of evidence here and there. You can see little holographic numbered tents. But you don't find anything out of the ordinary. There's nothing extra here. Everything has been cataloged well. Everything has been investigated well. They even tell you that the wife sat in and gave her account of the situation, and told them that she could be found on Umbria as she was going to finish the delivery of the Atigan crystals that were destined for Master Thon.
Captain, I don't know that there's much for us to see here.
Maybe.
And Doman kind of looks at the two Mirrorlukins and he smiles. Maybe not with eyes, sure, but the Force works in mysterious ways, and you see him kneel down by where Andor's body was, and you will feel a strong pull in your stomach. And even Nev, who stayed behind, will feel that slight, very soft tug as the Force is called upon. It is a bright flare of white light that envelops Doman Crow to Nora and Synthracia. He is pulling on all three of his Force attributes. This is a very strong power that is being invoked here. The sensation for Nora is different than it is for Synthracia. Like, it is that pull in the stomach that you remember from when your mother would calm the Force around you. This is definitely one of the stronger kind of clenches in the pit of your stomach. I don't think your mother would have ever used all three of her Force skills in front of you. For Synthracia, it is a power that you've seen used back on Dathomir. It is definitely one of those that are held in high regards by the elders. This is not a simple trick, and it is not one that many of the elders teach, and they hold on to it very greedily. But the one time that you did see it used was when they tried to ascertain what happened. It is a form of post-cognition. It is seeing what happened through the eyes of an item, a place.
That is incredible. I've never seen the power of a Jedi before, but you can feel it.
Oh yeah, this is undeniable. I see everything right now. While he's doing this Force thing, can I use the Force? While he's using his Force power, allowing me to see, can I investigate?
Yeah, you can try to piggyback off of his pull.
I was going to suggest something similar as well.
Yup.
Okay.
Hey, if I can see, why not? Let's do this.
Sure.
So for Nora, it will be a sense roll. So that's your one die. Good luck with that.
Oh, okay. I was going to use perception, but investigate. But cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're piggybacking on the Force power. That's why. For Synthracia, since you don't have Force attributes like Jedis do, I think for you it will be a willpower roll.
I've got a lot of dice for that.
Yeah, 4 dice for you.
Does 6 explodes or no?
6 explodes. When you only have 1 die, it is just a wild die.
Okay. So I got a 6.
Okay, so add to it.
Then wild die. The wild die, does its number count if it's like a 4?
Yeah, if it's anything but a 1 or a 6, count it regularly.
Okay, cool. Okay, so 4. 17.
Okay. And what did 15?
2 6s and a 3.
Okay. Look at you being piggybacking.
Don't tell everyone. They'll expect more from me.
Yeah, it's true.
That's bad.
There is a moment where both of you see each other's pull on the force. What does Nora's pull look like to Synthracia, and what does Synthracia's pull look like to Nora? Because they're going to be completely different.
Oi.
What's your pull look like, Nora?
Let me tell you.
Is it a one-handed technique, or sorry, I'll see myself out.
You
Out.
expect me to tell you? No, that's behind closed doors. Yeah, that's a paywall.
Understand?
Seeing
Don't
that
be out
she's-
here giving your pictures of feet for free.
I know, right, man. So only Jedis. Anyhow, white with a tinge of yellow, kind of like using almost like she thinks of it as religion, but she doesn't vocalize it. So being yellow is a sign of faith. It's white with like yellow around it.
Very cool. Synthracia's is definitely more, I would say, reliant on like a primal perception. It's much more like thunderclouds or that kind of coverage where it's a little more wild with sort of crackling energy through it is usually how I thought of it. So
Okay. Yeah. So you both see that of each other. Both of you manage to piggyback, as it were, onto Doman's pull of the force. And it does not go unnoticed. You definitely can see him looking in both your directions when you do it. But he shows the two of you the scene. You see Andor Sunrider sitting there kind of playing with the small child that is a young girl. You can see his wife kind of, you don't hear what's transpiring, but you do see it. And she is the one that kind of shows the bag of Adigan crystals. And it looks like she has this unworried look, very much giving off a sensation of peace and serenity. She doesn't feel at all threatened by the space. Andor is the one that gives back their daughter and takes the crystals into his possession. Very much the opposite. He understands the cost that comes with these crystals, and as he is about to put them on his belt, the three figures come into the vision, very much swirling from a mist into a hard light form. And one of them just shanks, just kind of, one could say, McStabs Andor right under the rib cage. And there is no preparation for the Jedi. It just pierces, and immediately you see the life snuff out of his eyes. And the primal scream that Nomi Sunrider must have let out in this moment even reverberates through the force. Like, it shakes both of you. And instinctively, still holding her child in her left arm, very close to her, almost very much protective, the lightsaber from Andor's belt comes flying up into her hand, and immediately the blade ignites. The connection to the force is evident. Since this is the first time we're going to discuss what it's going to look like moving forward, how is a lightsaber's ignition affecting the two of you.
It's so bright.
She immediately goes into a defensive mode, like as in the only reason why it's ignited is for defense.
Mhm.
So she will grab her pole almost to take a defensive stand for a moment.
They're imperceptible to Doman. There is a red wash that comes over her form as she calls on the force in an aggressive and violent manner. There is a very vengeance-fueled arc that fuels her momentum forward, and it is sloppy and untrained. The arc is very different from what Nora remembers of her mother. This is a wild, untrained Luke Skywalker swinging his lightsaber like a bat moment compared to the fencer that your mother was. But you see the first assailant loses his arm. It goes flying, and the swirl goes up, and then as it's coming back down, it comes across, cuts the second one in half, and as the figure 8 loops back around, the slash comes crashing down, and the leg is lopped off, and the third assailant drops. And just as quickly as the lightsaber is ignited, the lightsaber vanishes into nothing, and the red haze around her starts to dissipate. You can see the child is crying, and she falls to her knees and follows suit, and that's where the post-cognition ends. And you see Doman just kind of fall back onto his legs, almost like this took a lot out of him. And both of you can see through the force that he does look weaker. He looks like the outline of how he was standing before, how he was carrying himself, has tumbled in on itself, has kind of not collapsed, but definitely fallen. And you can slowly see it starting to correct itself, like to build himself back up. But it is a slow process.
I'll help him steady himself a little bit by just patting his back. That was unsettling. She pulled on magic using anger, pain. It felt vicious and violent.
I don't blame her.
I don't either. That was hard to watch.
It was dangerous.
So, shattered hand after these crystals. She still has them, maybe.
Nope.
And we need to track her down.
I don't know if she's with Mesathon. I think she's got some control over herself.
Oh, right.
We give people the benefit of the doubt in the order.
I meant to protect her, not to.
Track her down, I think, not strike.
I heard strike her down, and I was
no,
worried for a second.
No, goodness.
You witches really take things too seriously sometimes.
I know that misinterpretation. No, track her down and protect her if she's still working with that
Yes.
particular delivery.
That I can get behind, yes.
And then we need to find out about this missing Jedi as well.
Miss Mar, can we take your ship down to Umbria? Is that all right with you? Did you pull a Ben?
I didn't realize I was muted. Actually.
No. Even in
I didn't
spirit,
know.
he's still with us.
Yeah, Nora hasn't said anything until you ask her. And so we're like, yeah, sure. Fuck. I guess I'm fucking in this one.
I appreciate it.
It was dark side shit. I know the color.
Dark
Mom told me about
side.
it. Okay. Your magic. Light side.
Yes,
Dark side.
the anger that she drew into herself.
Dark side.
Hostile. Dark
Yep,
side.
dark side.
It
It's
seems strange.
bad. You can't really like do things in anger and hatred and stuff like that.
The holodiscs at the Academy talk about how some witches view it as cold and warm. Is that still the way, or have things changed in Dathomir?
No, that sounds about right. Sort of this prickliness versus softness as well, I think really fits pretty apt. But the dark side sort of adds a connotation that she's not. She's
Yeah.
like, it is just the cooler side, I guess. The essence of ice primal, more emotion driven, but dark seems strange to me. It's not dark, it's simply cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all things in balance, this finding her should be the next step, maybe. Unless we have any other leads we might want to follow. This shattered hand seems an issue. Do we know much more about them?
The security guard that's there brings up their files, the three assailants' files on his data pad. He goes, I can transfer these to you. We checked the databases, and the main one that killed Jedi Sunrider was Gudub. His associate was Rek, and then this last one here that lost his leg is Quanto. None of them survived the assault that this man's wife, the hurting that he put on them.
Well, they took a man in front of his daughter. More power to them that they have joined with the Earth more.
I didn't see what you saw. Were they after the crystals?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes. I felt the pull. I thought that you would have hopped on as well. No, it looked like they tried to take the crystals from them, and in killing him, she lashed out with the dark side of the Force.
Those ships that nearly attacked us when we entered the system, they were after the same crystals. I wonder if we couldn't find out some more information, if we could. I don't know that our ship would be able to take them on, but if we could lure them somewhere, or if the system had the resources to deal with them, if we made them interested again.
Yeah, Doman looks at Honora. I'm not gonna ask you to put your ship in harm's way, ma'am. But it is a viable option on the table.
Yeah, no, because we are not going to be able to dog smite that shit. I mean, seriously. I mean, we could maybe pony up a few and like get one of them down, but this ain't no galaxy cruiser.
Captain, we do seem to have a pilot who could do some useful dodging and weaving if needed.
Sure.
Wouldn't we try to bait them so we'd want to get on board and then deal with them that way?
That is an option.
I would
No.
rather combat them. She gestures to where Centria is. I would rather combat them than put my ship at risk and get us blown up.
I'm certainly not suggesting we would go up against them alone, merely that we would make them think we were alone, Captain.
Do we have a holodeck or something? I totally forgot.
It's your ship. I don't know what you have on it.
You're the storyteller. You should know what I have on my ship.
Oh no, as a storyteller, you don't have shit.
I'm, yeah.
I was being Doman.
That's fair. No, look, I understand what you want to do. My ship does not have that capability.
Captain,
Okay.
surely the guards here have some resources and connections with the station?
We have the guard pecks up. He's just like, we have some fighters that we have access to. Yes. I dare say it, but if you're going to go up against the hand, it would behoove you to seek an audience with Boga.
Oh gosh, shit.
He has far more resources than we do.
Yeah, because I don't want to put my only way of gaining money in jeopardy.
Understandably.
No ship, no cargo, no monies, no you
Right.
flying around.
Well, we can always just take the path of less resistance and seek out this Jedi.
Find a jet. It's kind of like save the Jedi, save the galaxy. Should totally be a poster.
Which Jedi are we going to go after first? Because we have Nomi Sunrider down in Umbria. We have no leads yet on where this Kiltani is.
I think Nomi would probably be the best one unless we can find any leads regarding Tommy. Did they have a room?
Yeah,
Or
the guard again kind of steps forward. Yes, that is our next point of order. Is I was going to take you to where the Jedi was staying while they were investigating this murder. If you'll follow me, and he takes you to a different part of the same floor, same sector, and you see that there is a living space that also has been quarantined. He waves his communication rod, and the kind of barrier falls, and he lets you into what is a small 3-bedroom apartment, kind of like a little townhouse kind of thing. It has a half second floor, which is just a bedroom and a loft. The other 2 bedrooms are on the first floor. There's a communal kitchen, living room, and it looks like they were in the middle of eating because there's still 3 dishes out. The food is cold at this point and starting to kind of moss over. And he looks at his data pad. He's like, they seem to have disappeared about 3 days ago, from what my records show. That was the last time we ever had any contact with them.
Okay.
Are there any data pads that they would have left behind or anything like that sitting around?
There was only the one data pad, and he points to it in the center of the table. We've checked it. There's nothing out of the ordinary.
He's going to pick it up and fiddle with it and use maybe security or computer programming to
Yeah. If you're going to be hacking, it's going to be security.
All right. Well, hey, that's the better one anyway.
There you go. 5 die plus 1. Jesus Christ. Hacker man.
Let's see here.
We're not
Taps a few times on the
14.
keyboard. I'm in.
He resets the router. Hacker man. 14. You go through the data pad. Simple kind of selection of notes. There's a journal. It is for a young student that is currently learning the Force, very much a collection of thoughts and stream of consciousness kind of thing. And the main thing is that this is an evolution. This is a collection of a young woman's growth through the Force. And the last kind of journal entries are hidden behind a password. Not too difficult to eat up and get past. And you find out that they've recently found out that they had family on Dathomir that they didn't know about. And now that they've got to build themselves up into trying to welcome a half-breed into her family, and how there is no preparation for her dealing with how to come across the dogma that is Dathomiri culture. She worries that she will never be able to come to terms with this new family member, and what the Order will think of this. And in quotation, she calls her a taint to her family line.
He's going to poke around to those most recent journal entries, just see if she, like, in the midst of all the emotional turmoil, if there's any, like, she was with the Jedi who was doing the investigation. So is there anything, like, about where they've been, where they are?
She is the Jedi investigating.
Oh, that is her. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, that's fine. She is the Jedi investigating it, and she does have the same thing, the files that you got from the security guard. Okay. She doesn't have the intimate knowledge that Doman got from the scene. Mm-hmm. It's just very much more clinical. You know, he was attacked. Nomi struck them down. And then there are 3 different computer graphics kind of CGI models of how she thinks the attack went down. None of them are correct, given that 3 of the people here saw what happened. But in all 3 simulations, it is always Andor that is carrying the crystals.
Captain, I believe the Jedi was following a false path. I don't know that she had useful information. I think we should go after Nomi if we want to find truly what's going on. Maybe with what Nomi tells us, we can find more about this Jedi as well.
Who's following a false path? I can say words clearly.
What's her name? Sorry.
The Jedi in charge of the murder investigation is named Kiltani Scour.
Kiltani, I believe she seems to have had bad information or bad ideas about what was going on. I don't know that hunting her down right now, while we do need to find her, I don't know that hunting her down right now will give us anything helpful in solving the rest of this.
Wait a minute. We saw what happened. Well, saw what happened. But what's the falseness? I'm not connecting what you think is false.
I don't think there's anything false in what you saw, Captain. I think that Kiltani was wrong about what happened and therefore wasn't looking in the right areas.
Oh, okay. All
The
right.
name
Well,
Kiltani sound familiar.
It should.
I was wondering. I'm like, wait. What else did she say? If anything.
She seemed to be in some emotional turmoil. She was upset about a new relative she'd discovered.
one new relative.
Someone from a planet called Dathomir?
Okay. And what?
I was
Kofi
not
said?
familiar with her name. What did she say in her
Yeah.
in there?
Saying a basic.
She found a relative from Dathomir, and she was very concerned about this. She thought it somehow would affect her or would affect how others thought of her. I'm sorry, I don't know a lot about these things regarding Jedi or anything like that, so not all of this makes sense to me, but she seemed very concerned because of this Dathomir relative.
Do you mind if I maybe just take a look at it?
And I'll hand her the pad after it's been decrypted. She's
So
obviously.
here comes my technology question for you, Mira Lukens. How do you read a data pad?
Text to speech.
You fucking sneaky bastard.
I will have it read out in text to speech.
I mean, that's valid.
You know, immediately
Make
when you
those
said
shirts
it, I was like, of course there's a text to speech function because it's fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Good on you for tricking me into giving you free information.
Yay!
Hell yeah.
But you hear the entry. One of the last entries is how she talks about that for a long time I had imagined that I did not have an older sister. My parents told me that they had lost the first child they had ever tried to conceive. This gave me a great sadness, but I had always felt like this was a lie. And now, so long since that day, I have found out that it was a lie, and that our parents are not the people that we hope they will be for us. I wish I could have. I hope that this will not create a schism with the order. The historians have given me some files on the Dathomiri. It seems that they are almost alien to me. They believe that the Force is a kind of sorcery, a kind of magic, and to a child, yes, maybe these are the ramblings of an uncultured civilization. I don't know what this taint to the bloodline will do for us, but she is family, and I must be better than my parents. I hope that I hope that we can build a bridge. And the entry ends.
Nora, you would see that Synthresha's aura is definitely, it's almost throbbing. There's a certain anger there.
Nor will, kind of with consent, of course, will gently try to put her hand on the shoulder and be like, hey, he's talking out of fear and bullshit. Don't take it personally. You got this, right?
Right. I did not know she was a Jedi. But we will
Not all of them are like that, assholes.
just
And Doman does kind of nod, is like, I would think so.
philosophical difference. But this is something I would like to pursue, if at all possible.
Okay. Hey, look. Not all Jedi are like this. I could tell you from experience. I was always taught to treat everyone respectfully, just like if they were me. So don't worry. You always got a seat on my boat for you, okay?
I'm glad to hear that, Mar. Really. I just... we'll deal with the ramifications of this when that comes around. But I would very much like to put effort into finding her.
Yeah, you got shit to tell her. I totally agree with this.
As much as possible. That's Synthresia will turn to Crow. That ability you used, that magic, the sense, the precognition or post-cognition. How could you do that here? What happened? How were they taken? They were in the middle of a meal, so it must have been quick.
Unfortunately, that power takes a lot out of me. So I don't know if I can call on the Force again to help us. If you give me a day or two, I agree with our associate here, Mr. Fire. I think if we go after Nomi first, we can definitely give me the time I need to recharge my batteries, as it were. Crimson's not going anywhere. Our associate here can make sure of that.
If you would, please.
And the security guard nods. Yes, of course. I can seal up the whole building.
Get some. Yeah, we'll go to find Nomi and get some information. We'll head out there. How's that? Good.
That should be fine. Just, of course.
The Force.
You need a hug.
Yeah. Doman steps away at that. And he's like, "That's not my area of concern."
Sure.
You know how to hug.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, come here. Come on. Breathe in. Take it in.
Okay.
She'll hug it. She knows the Jedi don't do the hugging, but she'll hug. Fuck it. Why not?
Not the Jedi.
Emotions. Shit like that. She'll get under the communicator and tell Nev to kick the fires and light the fires, Big Daddy. We're going to be heading out.
Okay. And while all of this was going on, Nev was on the ship, going through kind of your little checklist, seeing what's important, what is good to leave aside. And there is a moment where you are sitting in the engine room and the droid comes over, just kind of stands there. It doesn't sneak up on you. There's no sneaking up when this droid is concerned. Mm-hmm. It is a slow, methodical kind of thump, 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 thump of its big, blocky kind of rectangular feet If you've ever seen the original Lost in Space, like that droid is what this looks like. It is kind of tinfoil legs, like it is what a human hiding in a robot costume would look like in the 50s and 40s and 60s. It is awkward, and it has this block of a head, these triangles for eyes that are pointing down, this little triangle hole for what would be a nose, and then just this thin line that lights up whenever it talks. But it comes in and just observes you.
Howdy.
Its hand kind of half crescents. Hello.
You need something?
I am simply making sure you are not stealing anything.
I don't intend to do that much anymore.
That is good. I would hate to shoot you.
And he is going to put his hand against the engine block, or the equivalent, starship equivalent thereof. And he's going to take a deep breath, and his senses will extend.
Okay.
He wants the full picture of what he can do for this ship.
Okay. So let's have you go ahead and roll your sense.
Okay.
Your 1 die.
I will spend a character point to make that 2 die.
Okay. Okay. So one of the resources that you can use during the session is either a force point or a character point. Character points are double edged because they are also your experience points. But you can use them to great effect during the session, like you are now.
6.
6 total. It looks at you, and you hear it get closer, but it doesn't step how it normally steps. It is sidling up to you, grinding its feet along the floor as it's getting closer. So you just hear that scrape of metal against metal. It is probably one of the creepiest things that Nev has ever been a part of. That's ever been involved in. But as you stretch out with your hearing, with your tactile abilities, with your scent of smell, you can see that for the most part, the ship doesn't need anything except care. It looks like this has been left to different mechanics and engineers and people who have nothing invested in the ship at all except for whatever they're getting paid. So it extends as far as credits are concerned. It looks like there was a lot of care taken to the ship beforehand. There are remnants of, different bindings that are not meant for the ship, but have been modified for it. So some of the belts will be graded for capital ship use, and have been painstakingly cut down and trimmed for the ship itself. It looks like this was something that was a point of pride before and has since fallen into not disrepair, but definitely not the same level of care. It is like if your mother had a favorite repulsor lift vehicle, and then you got it and just kind of ignored it because of the pain associated with it. It is that same sensation.
Nev is, after he kind of comes back, I don't think for how he perceives it, it's more like an echo.
Yeah.
He kind of sees like what would be, like to other people, it looks like he just, and to him, it looks like he just puts his hand on his engine and he just gets this sense of what this ship needs. he is going to go do some bartering to get appropriate pieces to put this thing right.
Okay. When you come to, you open your eyes, you take a look at the engine, and as you turn around, Prague is standing right there. Not even like kneeling down next to you, but kind of bent at a 45-degree angle, just very much staring at you. If a droid could glare, it is glaring.
You ever heard of personal space, bud?
This is a thing that flesh bags desire, yes?
Certainly. Mind taking a step or two back so I can stand up?
Of course. And it takes a small step back and erects itself back to 180 degrees.
And he'll. What's up? I clearly did something that bothered you.
Not at all. I am merely protective of the ship.
I got no intention to harm her.
This is good.
My intention's to fix her. She's been missing a lot of care. I can tell.
A lot. Yes.
My intention's to set that right. I'm going to go get some parts. Have you been with the ship? Like a long time?
Since its creation, yes.
Mind coming with me to pick some stuff out?
If this is what you desire.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be best to get an idea from someone who was there when it was made.
And it slides itself back along against the wall, and it starts to lead you out. It is slow. It is at its fastest. It's like someone using a cane to walk. Its gait is not strange, but definitely methodical and much slower. Numerically, like where you have a move of 10 average, the droid has a move of 8.
Nev will make sure the ship is like mag locked and he can get back in when he's back and that kind of stuff, just like so it doesn't get broken into.
Sure. And as you go out to find the things that you need, the other 3 will feel that pull on the force coming from the upper floors where your ship is. And as that kind of washes over the 3 of you, that very faint pull of the force, I think this is a good spot to call it for tonight. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I hope you guys are having a good time, and I'm going to call upon the dark side of the force to channel the disembodied voice of Shanky McStabber to give an outro.
There is no disembodied voice of Shanky, only Zool.
Only Zool.
First of all, I'd like to thank the players and the viewers for coming out tonight, or the players for playing and the viewers for coming out to view. If you would like to join us on our Discord, so you know, all members of this show were cast directly from our Discord. This is where we do all of our casting for them. We also do hangouts from time to time. They're not weekly anymore. Too much stuff is going on, but pop over to our Discord, hang out with us. We got a pretty cool crowd over there. If you want to catch, well, not back episodes of this show, but if you want to catch back episodes of our other content, you can pop over to our YouTube, where you got the McStabber Studios YouTube right there. And you can also get our the London Esoteric Society, which is where Call of Cthulhu and the old D&D stream is. If you want to get some McStabber Studios merch, go ahead, pop to a merch store, log in to do it, because some of the stuff is content locked because it's not for children to buy. You know, if you want to be a camp counselor for Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would, you should be logged in. So I got to tell you that. If you want to see some amazing content creators, 2 of them you'll see right here. You can pop over to our friends list, the RPG table. There's Junie and Ravnos Archon, who was storyteller for tonight. So you can pop over to their channel, follow. They do their own things. I'm sure they'll get a chance. People get a chance to say what they do when I'm done my portions of all this outro stuff. Let's see. Did I cover? Oh, support. So, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. It is a way for the viewers to give something to the players for taking the time to play these games on stream for us. If you want to give them something, so bits and donations will go there. If you want to give something to the studio, subscribe on Twitch. Twitch takes half. Welcome to Twitch being a pimp. So if you want to give something to the studio that doesn't have Twitch taking half, pop over to KoFi. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon, all the little things that bump us on the search engine over there. Schedule this week. Let's see. We got Windy City. The final season is on Sunday. We've got 3 episodes left. And then Windy City is concluded. So crazy shit happens Sunday. Come check it out. Wednesday marks the premiere of our brand new stream. Vampire Dark Ages, Glimpses of History. And you're going to see, again, you'll see Junie in that one. You'll see Ravnos Archon in that one as we go through 800 years of Kindred history, not in one single stream, of course. That would just be too much for one stream. So come check out the kickoff of that. And of course, next Friday, we'll be right back here with more Star Wars, A Plague of Shadows. And before I go into my mental health thing, anyone here need to talk about what you're doing on online, where they can find you, those kind of things? Because we like to let the people in the show shout out themselves.
Sure, I'll go first. Hi, my name is Zeus. I was playing Nev this evening. I storytell over on Cajun Nights. It is a World of Darkness Discord server with the main core 4 splats. I specialize in Changeling and Mage over there. If you want to join us, please come join us. You can find us on Discord as well as through Discord. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good night. I hope you enjoyed the show. On to the next person.
I'm Junie Von Esch. You can find me on all the apps and here on Twitch as Junie Von Esch. I wasn't very original when I named myself. Yay me. You can find me here, the RPG table, Ravenous Archon, and Roll Call, all here on Twitch. I am also a mod on the Discord of Cajun Nights. It's a play-by-post server for all of your World of Discard needs, because basic is hard and so is words, clearly. I can't word anymore.
So flabbergasted. She can't talk tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Callie Reeve, you want to go next?
I don't have a lot to pimp. But I will say I'm a mod over on Mike Dunford's Discord. If you have an interest in law and politics or just want to hang out, Shanky's there a lot, and we just like to talk and have a lot of fun about anything that's happening in the world of law and courts of the day. And he also streams usually a couple times a week and does legal discussions, and occasionally we play Minecraft.
I'm good. I ain't got nothing.
All right.
Okay. And Will can do his.
Yeah. So I have my own channel as well. I do Vampire, I do Werewolf of the Wild West, I do Legend of the Five Rings and Seventh Sea with Junie. I love anytime that I get a chance to convince the McStabbers to let me run something, because I'm always trying to introduce something new, and I cannot wait to actually get a chance to play in that Vampire the Dark Ages game. So I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be really exciting.
I can't promise I won't kill you. It's okay. But then again, it's me. I can't promise not to kill anybody.
As long as Timberbrad dies first, I'm okay with dying after that.
We'll make sure that somebody in the world named Nicholas gets murdered right off, though that probably may happen sooner in another game. We'll see.
We're not investigating his murder.
For those that have been here for a while, you understand we always end this stream to tell people, please take your mental health seriously. Check in on family, check in on friends, check in on loved ones, check in on those around you, because there's a lot of people who are not okay and they mask it very well. And it just takes little kind words or somebody offering that hand to get them off the ledge. And if you are somebody who suffers from mental health issues, like many of us do, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you have mental health issues. And you should reach out to those around you. But I know a lot of people don't feel they can do that. So if you feel you can't do that, in chat right now is a list of numbers. You can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line who can speak to you and be that lifeline, that rope you need to get off the edge. And I know we have a number of non-U.S. viewers. If you're not here in the U.S., there's a link for Find a Helpline. And Find a Helpline, you put in your country of origin, and you can find out the helplines that are available in your country. Because mental health is health, everybody, and we take it very seriously. And since my wife isn't here, I get to give her portion of the outro. Please get your shots. Whichever shots, get them. Get the various vaccines. Come on. We don't need a bunch of sick people running around making everybody else sick. Please register to vote and vote against the party that wants to ban books, ban healthcare, and don't think that women's rights and trans rights are human rights, because I got news for you. They are human rights. So I'm not going to call out which party I'm saying to vote against, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't have to. And I want to say also Happy Pride Month. And I do thank the players and I thank the viewers, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.